Hi, friends. We at GLC would like to take a quick moment to thank you for watching our programs on this platform, and we'd like to ask you for a little favor. Would you please go beneath this video and click the subscribe button? Did you know that by simply subscribing to the GLC YouTube channel, you can help us financially support the programs on this platform? You'll need to be signed into YouTube beforehand, but if not, simply click the subscribe button and YouTube will automatically walk you through the steps to sign in or to create an account. By taking these simple steps, you will not only ensure that you continue to receive our unique programming and gain instant access to the hundreds of videos we post, but more importantly, you'll also be telling YouTube that GLC's content is worth watching and promoting. Likewise, if you enjoyed a specific program, please click the thumbs up button below, which also helps inform YouTube that this is a program worth recommending. Finally, once you have logged in and subscribed, please click the notification bell below in order to receive announcements when we post new content. As usual, feel free to post your questions and comments in the comments section below. We always love hearing from our friends and viewers. Again, thank you for watching and supporting God's Learning Channel. We couldn't spread the message of the gospel without you. Be blessed, and we hope you enjoy the show.
We have exciting news! GLC is delighted to share that our 501c3 tax exemption status has been officially reinstated. Your donations are now tax deductible, including those made after 2015. Reach out to us at the email address or phone on your screen for more info on receiving a receipt letter. Join us in making a positive impact on the kingdom of God. Consider contributing a tax-deductible gift today at www.glctv.tv. Every amount counts. GLC is so excited to announce our new line of apparel and merchandise available through the GLC bookstore website or through the videos directly on our YouTube channel. Browse this exclusive collection of apparel, magnets, mugs, and more, where Hebraic expression meets contemporary design. New designs are added regularly, so be sure to check back for new selections that will express your faith to those around you. Visit the GLC bookstore online and explore our diverse range of merchandise and apparel, or watch our wide selection of programs on our YouTube channel for direct links to our new store, and best of all, visit glc.us.com/shop for links to all of our online stores today.
Hey, welcome to Word on the Street. Yet another great celebrity, incredible man, author, best-selling author, speaker, incredible singer. Really, folks, you're going to love meeting my old friend and your new friend, Darryl Bergstresser. How you doing today, Darryl?
I'm fine, but I'm blushing right now. Come on.
Well, hey, it's easy when it's true, and it is.
Okay.
It is true, man. I'm excited. Folks, every once in a while, you've been seeing some great interviews with different people, and what I've been doing is interviewing people that have inspired me through the years. From Bill Champlin of Chicago to Ted Nugent to Darryl Bergstresser. He was one of my early influences in a lot of ways, and man, it's just so good to see your face. How long has it been, Darryl, since we've actually been able to dialogue like this?
30. It's been 30 years, 25, 30 years, something like that. I just remember you, playing in our band, No Limit, and we had fun. And from the very beginning, I knew that you had something because you felt what you played. So everybody on here, I want you to know I'm a big fan of this man right here. Of course, he's doing other accolades right now, but I just want everybody to know how special he is.
Well, thank you, brother. Well, you're very special. You're part of my history. It's wonderful when we get to talk to people who are part of our life story, because we carry them in our hearts. And, you're one of those early influences in my life when I needed that, those who know my story, we won't go into it right now, but basically, it's just wonderful when a young man has other strong young men that can be a good influence. God knows we've seen what happens when there's bad influences, you know.
Right.
But Darryl's always inspired me, and such a handsome young man with an incredible voice. And we all met in the old days of the Full Gospel Assembly Choir, the blackest white choir in Oklahoma City, where so many
Yeah.
artists came through, and at the tail end of the Jesus People movement. And of course, from those associations, you know, came the band No Limit. And Darryl, you haven't stopped singing. You haven't stopped doing what you do, recording. Actually, you have a new song that
Right.
people can listen to right now.
Right
Tell them
on.
about that.
All right. Well, it's called the Veterans Song. I did it a couple years ago at Louis Drapp Studio. You know it well.
Oh yeah.
But I'm a third generation veteran, and this song was kind of about the state of the world. And, you know, it more or less tells a little story, but it also tells us in what direction we should be going. And I was very blessed to, with my recording is I had Shelby Eicher play the fiddle for me. And I don't know if you all know him, but he was the fiddle player for Hee Haw and Roy Clark, and just had a great time getting to know this guy. And he's something. And, you know, Brant, I want to do some recording with you again over there.
Well,
Uh,
I think that's going to happen, Darryl. It's time to re-engage with Lewis Drapp of Drapp
yep.
Studios. He's moved to Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Been recording with Lewis a good 26, 27 years. Had some songs on the radio that I would record with Lewis. We
Yep.
just had a great thing, and just time and life and kids and grandkids and all
Right.
that. But you know, what goes around comes around. It's never been a better time to be an
Right.
artist, to get your music out. And I'm really looking forward to seeing and hearing about more people hearing your music, but also your book. You know, for those who are watching this stream live, being recorded live on Facebook, you know, I've got it right there. The link to Amazon, Real Estate Rock Stars, Real Estate Leaders Rocking the Real Estate Industry Today. And on the inset, it sounds like what it is, but behind the book is an incredible story and an incredible tribute to its inspiration, Darryl. And that's none other than the man who fathered you. And just take us right into that, brother.
Okay. All right. Well, I was the baby of six children to Rayford Harris, who was he was over in the military overseas, and his wife Frances, which was my mother. I never got to know her. She passed away when I was 3 years old, and my father. It's kind of sad to say, but my biological father had two choices. He could either do the Mel Gibson thing, like the Patriot, come back home and take care of all the children, or he was going to stay in the military and more or less let us go to the wind, if you will. I was the baby, so he let his sister and her husband adopt me.
Wow.
Okay. And I was the blessed one. I got to see the end result of all my brothers and sisters who more or less got to grow up without a mother and a father. And it's not glamorous. It wasn't a pretty sight, but I was in the St. Joseph's Catholic home in Oklahoma City with my brother Patrick, and we stayed there until I was about maybe 5 years old. And that's when my biological father would finally let them take me. They took me for 6 months, and I'll tell you, when I got out there and the shock was over, because I was, of course, separated from my brother Patrick at that place, but it was a whole new world. And I'll tell you what, Bill Bergstresser and we gelled instantly. I don't know, it's a God thing, because we gelled instantly. And he was an almost 50-year-old man who never had children, and he he had some assets, but he wasn't rich by any stretch. But he wanted somebody that he could pour his goodness into.
Wow.
And I was a little 6-year-old kid, 5-year-old kid that was terrified of my own shadow, really, because I was in an orphanage and I needed a dad. So when we hooked up together at Noble Schools, I always love Noble Schools too. I gotta give them kudos too, because we had some of the best teachers, best superintendents, everybody there. But we gelled. And this is the focal point of it came to this. I was 6 years old. We were sitting behind his barn on two logs. And I was there for 6 months, loved it. We gelled. Like I said, everything went perfect. He looked down at me and said, Darryl, now Ella and I are thinking about adopting you and making you our son. Okay. I didn't know exactly what that meant. And I told him that right then and there. I looked up at him, said, I don't know exactly what that means, because of course I was 6 years old. But I said, I promise you, if you take care of me when I'm young, I'll take care of you when you get old.
Wow.
Okay. And when that happened, it seared in my heart. Okay. People can talk about running after riches, running after glory, popularity, all that stuff. And I've had my bout with it before, but there is nothing like a promise when every bit of your being is involved with it. So if you fast forward on, I'm an outstanding senior student. I had scholarships at a lot of different places. I was a vocalist, of course, and Margaret Bridwell and Marianne Stitch are two huge influences from Noble. Okay, my teachers, they were great. But I did that and drama, stuff like that. And then I went into, went to OU, worked at Steak and Ale, went into the workforce, did a lot of things. And I had this desire that I had to prove that I was worth the $275 that they spent to adopt me. And I got to see and grow up with my brothers and sisters, that I would see them maybe once every year, maybe twice a year. Their lives were horrible. Okay. And even after I graduated high school and got my own job, waited tables at Steak and Ale, I would get money and bring to them because they were so destitute. And it's a sad story on one aspect, but the other story is I was super motivated. Okay. I'm nobody special, but I've been a vice president of 3 Fortune 500 companies in consumer mortgage lending. And then I got my insurance licenses, my real estate license, and my auto F&I license. I mean, if there was an overachiever, it was me, not because I was after my own glory. It was because I had this little thing in my mind that, you know what, my brothers and sisters are suffering, and I want to be worthy of somebody who was given a chance.
Wow.
And I was given a chance in life. I grew up, life was absolutely wonderful. You fast forward, I had 13 states with ITT. And one day, okay, now my mother had already passed when I graduated high school, which of course tore me up, but this is my adopting father. He called me up in my Inglewood, Colorado office. I had 13 states, and that was one of my offices. He never, ever called me. This was 1992. He never called me.
Wow.
But this time he called me. He always wanted to make sure that I wasn't busy, so I would call him, is how we had it worked out. But he called me and said, son, he said, I'm sorry to tell you this, but I have terminal lung cancer because I smoked those filterless Camels in World War II.
Mm.
Okay, I was devastated. I mean, we're talking my rock. Okay, now granted, don't get me wrong. The Lord God blessed me, but Bill Bergstresser was my rock. He inspired me. He motivated me. He disciplined me just a few times, but he was a disciplinarian for that. But he taught me goodness, and he taught me forgiveness, and he taught me so many things, Brent, I can't even tell you. But here's what happened. After he did that, I called my boss. I was vice president of 13 states. I just won a big award called the Mr. Enthusiasm Award for ITT because I was really doing a great job for them. Mm-hmm. Why? Because I had the motivation, the training, everything from Bill Bergstresser. Well, after I got through bawling my eyes out, my very next call was to my boss, Guy Stiegel, to tell him, Guy, I love this company. I love working for you, but you have two choices now. I made a promise when I was 6 years old, sitting behind a barn for my adopting father, and I'll die before I break that promise. So either you accept my resignation right now, or you let me work out of his home until he passes on. Well, luckily, Guy Stiegel, I'll always love him, but he helped me write a letter to corporate office. They let me work out of his home from September 22nd of 1992 to December 30th of 1992.
Wow.
And I got to keep my promise. And you know what? He left me 80 acres. He left me money that I gave to my kids for their college. Money had nothing to do with it. I
Right.
had actually tried to give him my lung. His doctor was Dr. Christensen in Norman, and I begged him. I said, let me give him my lung. Do whatever it takes to keep this man alive. He's way too good for him to perish now. But he said, sorry, son. He said, your dad already has it. It's gone into his bones and stuff. So,
Wow.
I grieved his passing for that period of time from September to December. I couldn't control. I mean, I ended up going to the doctor. He said, your blood pressure's in the ozone. He said, you better do something. So I walked Early Wine Park there in Oklahoma City for 30 days straight, 5 miles a day, while he was, after he had passed. And one other thing I want to say, Kent and Kirk Tarver, those guys, I don't know that I could have made it without them, Brent. I love both of those guys dearly. They were my schoolmates. We did everything together, back in school, singing, acting, everything. And I just want to give kudos to them because I don't know what I would have done if I hadn't had them as friends to get over Dad's passing,
Well,
But
two incredible young men, and of course, they were there for me too. And
yep,
incredible,
they,
incredible.
they made it a habit to help.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Just top quality people, along with Tawana Gillis
I love Twana. Her
and
voice is amazing. Sandy's voice. Oh my gosh.
oh yeah.
Melanie, Judy. I mean, they're parts of my life that I don't want to let go of. You know.
Well, I've got some ideas that we'll talk about another time.
All right. I'd love
Uh,
it.
but I would love to see I'd love to see everybody back in the studio. And
Oh, and I do have to give a shout out to my fiance, Celeste. Here she is with me.
yes.
Great. She's great. We have so much fun together, and we do some fun things with my son Kyle, and of course Kiliana too. You know, but life is good. Life is
Well,
good.
Celeste is the smile on your face, my man. When you have the right woman, there's nothing you can't do.
Yep.
And you've got a great partner there. I've seen your posts as well, and was very excited about your book. And I saw the smile on your face, and man, what a beautiful couple. And here it is. I mean,
I'm the
golly,
ugly one.
congratulations.
She's a pretty one. I went to school with her older sister Veronica, or whatever.
Yeah.
Kent, Kirk, and Vaughn, and all of them know her, or know of her. She passed on, but yeah, the first time I went to a class reunion, I saw Celeste and said, "Hey, you're pretty." She goes, "You're pretty good looking yourself." She wanted to come meet me because of my stupid memes.
But
You know,
oh, yeah, there you go. Well, hey, hey, I mean, you can tell a lot about a man from his memes, and
that's right.
yeah, yeah.
Love
So,
them.
so was that your opening line? Is hey, you're pretty. Hey, you're pretty.
That's exactly what it was.
Hey, all right. See, man,
I
you
mean, the
can't go
direct approach
wrong.
always works, you
You
know.
can't go wrong with
Mhm.
honesty. Well, Darryl. It's been said that a grateful heart positions you to receive, and you worked out of gratefulness, and also because you were thinking about others too. And what better thing? Another quote that I've heard before is a man can accomplish anything if he has enough reasons to.
Right, right.
And your
Well,
reasons were your siblings as well. And
yes, Bill
the other
Bergstresser
children.
was my guide, and my brother Patrick, he had nobody. He went from that same orphanage I was in to the
Yeah.
Edmond Boys Ranch to adulthood without a guide. So he looked to me as a guide because I had the goodness of Bill Bergstresser
Right.
in me. And I more or less took care of him until he passed away. He died it's been about 8 years ago now, but he lived with me until he passed. I was a realtor, so I sold a home, or I lived in the front with my kids and he lived in the back. But I took care of him until he passed away because he needed somebody and I wanted to be that person. So yeah, it worked out really well.
Well,
Worked
it
out.
just goes to show that it doesn't necessarily have to be your birth child to leave a legacy, even though it was blood, but you can leave a legacy in the lives of other people, folks, when you dare to love.
Yeah,
And
you're so right. You're
you
so
know,
right.
Darryl, you have so much to say. And as you and I sit and talk, I'm thinking, my gosh, man, there's so many people out there that they need to know that God loves them. They need to know that they have a destiny. And they also need, some inspiration and some guidance.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see you doing, Chris, you're a very busy man, but workshops and seminars and all those things along with your book. Um, Even seeing that sponsored by people who want to see others learn, especially those who have been adopted, whether you've been adopted or orphaned, or abandoned, or whatever your situation is, folks. Sometimes there's something inside of us that we're trying to prove ourselves to ourselves, and you need to know that not only are you enough, you're more than enough, and nothing is impossible. Nothing is out of your grasp. How would you encourage people right now, Darryl? You've had so many successes. You haven't even named most of them, but how would you encourage people right now that maybe they feel like they're just a victim of life? Life happens to them, or they're buying into the fear that's being used as a commodity by our media. How would you encourage people in this hour?
Well, I do have some people that I have mentored, if you will, and what I do is I tell them, hey, you're worth something because when life beats you down, you're a child of God just like we are. Okay. And the bottom line is I believe in you and I will help you. And that's what I've done. There's been a few that I've taken under my wing and they just sometimes just having that reassurance. You've got to have a reassurance that there is somebody when the life hits you hard, if you can be a light shining and a beacon for them. That's what the Lord tells us to do. And I'm definitely not a perfect man by any stretch, but I do recognize that, the Lord is my Lord and he can be everybody's Lord. And when the toughest times come, it's something my father always said. He said, Darryl, he goes, when the hard times come, that means there's something good just around the corner. You know,
Wow.
he says, when those things happen to you, look up because, there's something good going to happen. And of course I didn't want to hear that sometimes as a rebellious kid, but I did.
How would you encourage people right now, whatever field they're in? How important is your attitude of gratitude?
Oh, it's 100% important because what other people see and read and play off of that.
Mm.
I've learned, I mean, I'm very well versed in politics of business because that's all I've done. Okay. And I moved up not because I played people, but because I kept my nose to the grindstone to be worthy. I mean, I've always been and still am that little 6-year-old boy in an orphanage, you know, scared to death. And I am appreciative of what was given to me by God first and by Bill and Ella Bergstresser second.
Mm.
Okay. That that was the motivation. That was the attitude. I actually pulled back as soon as I turned 50. I'm 60 now, but when I turned 50, I didn't want to do it anymore. I just want to be a good old loan officer where I started my career and I'm back. And it was the best decision I've ever made. I work, to tell you, I work on weekends at the Bluestone Steak and Seafood. They're at 101st and Sheridan as a professional waiter. Bill and Sharon Tackett, they are amazing. I love
Wow.
them. They may be part of their family, and I would highly advise that's where we'll go when you come into town. I'll take
Now,
you
now
to.
say it again, if you will.
Okay, it's the Bluestone Steak and Seafood. Bill and
Woo.
Sharon Tackett are the proprietors. Good people. Their whole family. They're a huge family, but they're good people. All right. And I'm a waiter there. I sell vehicles. I do other things, just because I love it. Granted, everybody needs money, of course, but you know, I I still have fun, but the best thing I did was just walking away at 50, just coming back to being a loan officer. And I'm on the Hunter Team Tulsa, where, David, Joanne, Angela, I mean, we all have a good time here too. And of course, if you ever have any needs for mortgage, I'm a 38-year mortgage banker. I've been a realtor since 2006, and I know a little bit, you know. But my job is to help take care of people, and that's what I do. And I'll continue to do that until my retiring day. And hopefully you and I'll have a number one song out there before then.
Hey, hey, well, here's what I love is, no matter how successful you are, you still believe in the multiple streams of income. You still believe in doing things you enjoy and interacting with people, some of the most fun I've ever had is doing live music at a venue, and I started when I was 13, man. Eagles, Beatles, Elton John, Billy Joe, Bob Seger, Aerosmith, Bon Jovi, Brian Adams.
All
Still
right.
love it. And
That was your training. Yep.
I don't have to do that, but now I want to again, just because I miss it. There's certain things we've done along the journey in our lives where we gotten the most enjoyment and interacting with people, taking people back to a better time. That's why I'm interviewing these celebrities from back in the day, because I want to take Americans back to a better time. But
Right.
you're one of those people that take me back to a better time, and we can make new times too. And situations with my son has me about to re-engage in Oklahoma City and Tulsa in a more powerful way, with media, music, and television and stuff. And I'm just really excited, Darryl, because I just want to grab you for as much of that as you'll let me. And
Well, I need to introduce you to my son Kyle and my daughter Kiliana and my grandkids. I still go down to Noble every once in a while and watch Leilani play at Noble. So it's like a
really,
2 year old block. Yeah.
all
Yeah.
right. Well, hey, life is about making moments, and it's about loving people
Mhm.
and being good to each other. You know,
Good.
at the end of the day, life is made up of moments, and greatness is made up of moments. The success is what? It's not the destination, it's the journey.
Journey, right?
And so I'm looking forward to new things. You're just too good to just do one interview with, bro. We gotta do some more things.
Right. I'll do more, but listen to me here. You are a blessing, not to
Oh,
just me. You are so much of a blessing for everything you do. And I want to make sure that everybody recognizes that. Okay. Because I'm in awe of some of the things that I've seen you do. I've seen you grow. I know that you have, once again, magic fingers because you feel the music. And look at you now. I'm so proud of you, dude.
oh,
I'm so proud of you, Brent.
you don't know what that means. You don't know what that means, Darryl. And
It's the truth, man.
God gifts us, at times, when we're desperate. We need an answer. We need something. And yeah, but that means so much. You don't know how much that means. And there's so many people that I remember that were a part of our journey in Oklahoma City and Tulsa and others. And I just want to make sure they're doing good. I want to elevate anything they're doing if they're not on television or
Right.
whatever. And it's just so fun. But he gives us what we have and we give it away.
That's
And
right.
then he gives us more and we give it away. He gives us more and we give it away. And
Well,
the things
you're a
we
great steward of what he gives.
well, I'm trying to be, Darryl. We all had to go through our times, and we're never done growing. But
Right.
I'll just say it's amazing what can happen when you get your eyes off yourself or even your own pain, and you want to help others. Les Brown, he and his brother. Les Brown's one of my heroes. I still hope to interview him, but he and his brother were abandoned in a concrete floor in an abandoned house. And the story of Les Brown. If you don't, you got to check that out. He was told that he was retarded, and he had a teacher that spoke in his life. Don't you ever say that again. You are intelligent. The guy is a mega speaker. He opens his mouth and he's paid $25,000-$50,000. It's not about the money, but he made a determination that somebody spoke into his life, and he had a life vision to ignite the greatness in others. And when I heard that so many years ago, I thought, you know what? I want to do that.
There you go.
I want to ignite the greatness in others, and started that journey 30 years ago. And here we are. But you've been doing the same thing, Darryl. And folks, go to Amazon.com, get Real Estate Rockstars, and then keep your eyes open for more music, more books, and even some events where you can see that one and only name, Darryl Bergstresser. Such an honor to talk to you today, my man.
It's great talking to you, brother. I love you, man.
Love you. Thank you. We'll see you next time.
All righty. Bye-bye.